Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the public hearing for Monday, April 9th, 2019. To order, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Agia? Here. Mr. Coogan?
Here.
Mr. Costa?
Here.
Mr. Hetzler?
Here.
Mr. Corey?
Here.
Mr. Martins?
I'd like to ask everyone in attendance to please join me for a salute to our flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Per Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20E, pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. First order of business for the public hearing is citizens' input. We do have two individuals who have signed up to speak at the public hearing this evening. The first individual is Rebecca Cusick, 1528 Highland Ave. Agenda item discussed, school budget. Welcome, Ms. Cusick.
Hi, thank you. So I'm here tonight to speak in support of the proposed budget for next year. We feel strongly that it does a good job in starting to address some of the needs that we see throughout the district, and we believe that the additional positions and the additional resources will definitely have a positive impact on student learning. And if we think back to some of our past budgets, the conversation at this time of the year was often around pink slips or the elimination of certain positions, and we've definitely made great progress since then. But I also want to let you know that the work of getting the state to fulfill their obligation to fund our schools equitably is certainly not over. The Promise Act is the only bill proposed right now that really acts on the recommendations of the Foundation Budget Review Commission. And we're going to be quite insistent that the legislature act soon, because our kids should not wait one more year for the funding that they deserve. Additionally, we also believe that whatever bill is passed, our democratically elected school committee should keep their authority over the local school budget. So hopefully the next few years will secure additional funds that you can add to, so that you can add even more positions as necessary. So thank you.
Thank you. Next individual signed up this evening, Ms. Sarah Riley, 1679 Copacut Road. Item to discuss, transportation. Welcome.
I'm here to argue that transportation funding is vital to the health and education of Fall River students. The impact is really on real children and real families in profound ways. My 5-year-old Sam has ADHD and a 504 plan. The ADHD is sleep-related, related to sleep dysfunction, so he's already compromised in that department. The Sylvia School is his district school, and it's extended day. The doors open at 7:25. Sam arrives at school before 7 a.m. He wakes at 5:45 a.m., and he gets on a 6:10 a.m. bus every morning. There's no time for shoe tying, independent teeth brushing, autonomy really of any kind. Transportation says that this meets the state law, but I don't think that it's really fair to treat a 5-year-old that way. Comparably, the Dartmouth school bus 2 miles down the road arrives the full 2 hours later than Sam's bus. Mondays, he's home by 3:10, which is reasonable, but Tuesday through Friday, he's not home until 4:35 or 4:45 in the evening. There's no time for outdoor play, extracurricular sports, homework. It's dinner, bath, bedtime at 7:30. Except I have a 2.5-year-old, which arguably is not the responsibility of the Fall River school system yet, but I warn you, he will be. For a 2-year-old, the National Sleep Foundation recommends an average of 11 to 14 hours of sleep daily, with up to 15 to 16 hours. His developing brain gets less than 10. He's moody and angry and borders on aggression the days that he wakes with Sam because his cortisol levels are so high. His preschool teacher already has major concerns. For Sam, the National Sleep Foundation recommends an average of 10 to 13 hours of sleep daily with up to 14 hours. But his developing brain also gets less than 10 hours. He already has attention deficit and corresponding anxiety disorder. If not for Andrea Curran and Christy Long, the best kindergarten teachers in the entire school system, in my opinion, Sam would be in real trouble. And I think this is all really wildly unnecessary. His bus arrives 25 minutes earlier than school doors even open. Sam and all the other Blossom Road kids have to wait an extra 35 minutes in the office before their bus, which is coming from the middle school, arrives, making the kids who are picked up first that are brought home last. Me, I'm dying of stress. I have an hour every morning I'm trying desperately to keep my toddler asleep while I'm getting Sam ready, and an hour every night I'm trying desperately to keep my toddler from rousing his brother. And this stress is totally projected on my kids. I've requested information about Sam's bus arrangements, whether he's the N of one or whether that's the norm, and I really haven't gotten any information. If the Fall River Schools is busing children purely based on the literal letter of Massachusetts state law, but its policies are in gross conflict with recommendations from the American Academy of Pediatrics, the National Sleep Foundation, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, the American Medical Association, and the CDC, I think that we need to consider whether or not a transportation audit is in order to see how many kids the school system is failing. This isn't about the equity to access for education. This is about the equity to a child's availability for learning. But worse, we could be setting these kids up for a lifetime of health and mental health repercussions. I appeal to you, not just as school committee members, but as parents. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I took notes in case anyone wants them. Should I read this for you?
Please, thank you. That concludes citizens' input, but the purpose of tonight's public hearing was obviously to hear from individuals. So if you didn't sign up for citizens' input and would like to be heard pursuant to the Mass General Law, Chapter 71, Section 38N, which is the public hearing that we're required to conduct, please feel free to come forward. If you have any comments you'd like to make about the proposed FY 2020 annual budget, feel free to do that now. Seeing no one approach the podium, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing. Is there a motion? Made by Mr. Hetzler. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Coogan. Roll call, please.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
The public hearing is now adjourned.